Soft baiting and kayak fishing are two techniques that go hand in glove.
Hey guys!
We use the sneakiness of a kayak, that ability to be quiet on the water and have a small shadow to enhance what we do as soft bait anglers. The classic technique is to put a drift chute or a sea anchor off the rear of the kayak. That allows us to drift forward and cast ahead of our drift. And in this mode, what we're looking to do is allow our soft bait, what's typically referred to as hang time. So as it drifts down through the water column, hopefully we're going to attract the attention of a predator. And then once it's down at the depth that we want, we then begin a retrieve, twitching the lure, giving it the kind of action that we want to bring it back towards the kayak. And we can expect a strike anywhere. Literally, that strike can come as the lure is descending down through the water. The strike can come as the lure hits the bottom and just sits there before we begin our retrieve. Or in fact, a fish can strike any moment right up until we lift the soft bait out of the water beside the kayak.
Murder in the foreign verb.
Something really cool with fishing soft baits from kayaks is their convenience. You know, you have them in a packet form. You're not looking to try and refrigerate them, keep them cool. You're not trying to chop them up on your tackle pod or whatever. They're just straight out of the packet, ready to go.
I wanna be alive.
When soft baiting from kayaks, there are a couple of very special techniques that are worth making note of. And this is based around being on a kayak. It's unique to the craft. The first one is to, if you like, fish off your toes. So what I'm doing here is, instead of using your typical fixed spool soft baiting reel, is that I'll use one of the little Catch micro jig reels, the free spool reel. I will lay the rod along my toes and I'll then paddle around and hunt my fish. So once I've found a big snapper arch around the school of bait fish, what I'll then do is hit the free spool button, click the reel out of gear and allow that soft bait to swim down, descend through the water column. And what I'm doing is I'm focusing on the reel and I'm just paddling on station to keep the kayak right in the right location. And basically all I want is the line coming directly off the rod tip, straight down into the water. And as that lure enters the strike zone and it attracts the snapper's attention, typically they'll just come up and absolutely slam it. But if they're a little bit shy and are just knocking the bait, again, because we're on a free spool reel, we're in direct contact with that lure, so we'll see those little hesitations and we can pick the rod up and strike. And that's something that's very, very hard to achieve off a bigger boat and off your typical fixed spool reel. The other technique that's unique to kayaks is, if you like, the complete opposite end of the spectrum. What we're going to do is, instead of standing off the coastline and casting into the shallows, is we're going to utilize the kayak's ability to sneak right into that skinny water in the surge zone, that little bit of lift area around the rocks, and cast out into deeper water. And here what we're doing is we're looking to fish that lure back. So we've cast it out, let it sink down to just above the kelp, and now we're going to twitch that lure like an escaping bait up just over that kelp, like it's trying to make it into that shallow zone away from the snapper. And in that mode, when we attract that snapper's attention and hook them up, they're going to run directly away from the line pull. Typically, that means straight out into the deeper water. So they're going to drag us, kayak and all, out into that safe area where we've got plenty of water to fish them, play them, and then get them to the kayak so that they don't get us into the structure. Fishing soft baits from kayaks is literally a match made in heaven.